Welcome into Game Night. I am Derek Forrest. We've got another busy show as always, but joining us from Northwest Stadium is our Alex Flum and Jake Rom. A big one today, obviously, is the Washington Commanders are taking on the Miami Dolphins on their first preseason game. But I have to ask you guys, it's the first time that you guys have set foot in at the stadium since the season ended last year. How's it feel?
Well, I was here for their high school football media day that they had. So second time since last year, but first time for an actual competition, actual game. And I'll tell you, I was driving up to the stadium with Jake, and I was like, it feels like it's not time to be here yet, but nonetheless, we're excited to be here because it means that, hey, football season's actually here.
Yeah, we've been out at training camp. The joint practice the other day was the first time seeing another team in other colors. But it just feels right walking through that tunnel to get in here at Northwest Stadium, getting ready for another season, Alex. We've been doing this for years now. It's awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. I don't know what we're going to see and how it's going to be with this preseason game or how much you can take away from what happens on this field. But one thing's for certain, football's back, in my opinion.
What are you guys' expectations for today? Like, at the end of the day, what do you want to have seen out of the Washington Commanders?
No injuries.
No injuries.
Listen, I couldn't care. Anything else could happen tonight, just no injuries. I mean, I'd like to see them come out and move the ball and stop the Dolphins. We should see some encouraging signs from some of the depth on this team. I'd like to see the line do well, the offensive line. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is to come out of this game healthy, and they need to do whatever they need to do for that to happen because they're already kind of in the trenches with Laramie Tunsil, John Bates, Nick Allegretti, all injured, dealing with stuff. They can't afford any more right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the direction of competition, and not as much as what we want to see against the Dolphins, but competition within the team, because this roster has to go from 90 to 53, back to 70 once they get the practice squad guys on this team in about a week or so. We need to see how competitive the guys are from the second team, the third team, et cetera, because there's other positions in the starting offense and the starting defense that need to be filled out on this team. And I think that's a little bit of what we heard from Dan Quinn and some of the players at the joint practice earlier, is getting that evaluation against other opponents within this franchise. So I'm excited to see the competition of guys like that are on the cusp of maybe being on the team, not on the team. Wide receiver room's one of those positions. I'm interested to see how the 4, the 5, the 6, string guys on the wide receiver room look tonight.
Here's the one that I'll give you, and I feel like, and I'm not saying that we left this guy out, but I've talked, I do my radio stuff with all the guys. One guy that's been missing, in my opinion, that no one's talked about. I really want to see what Sonny Styles does if he gets on the field, right? Like, obviously, they had the joint practice, but I'm really curious to see what he's finally like once he gets on the field for game time action, how he goes up against NFL players. He's had so much high expectations for his position and being the leader of that room that I'm curious how much he's really adjusted. You guys were obviously out at joint practice, and we never talked about what he was able to do. What did you guys see from him in joint practice as well?
I just think the speed is the one thing that we saw, and I think a lot of what we saw on the defensive side of the ball, not just Sonny Styles, is how fast, how athletic this defense looks, even from a season ago. The guys that have come in, and whether it's the players they brought in or it's Durante Jones and how he wants this defense to fly, I thought Sonny Styles looked great. Take it with a grain of salt. It's the Miami Dolphins, and we've been talking about it all week, even on our podcast, Undrafted Opinions, about how this Dolphins team is further away from contending than the Commanders are. It's very obvious, and you saw that. A lot of the Miami media was even talking about how they looked defeated and beat up during joint practice, and I think Sonny Styles, I don't know if he shined, because the defense in general shined as a whole.
Everything I've heard about Sonny is he looks pro-ready. He's approaching things with the same mentality they had from Jaden Daniels his rookie season. So I think everyone's excited to see, does that translate to the game? Like, you always see rookie mistakes from guys, even first-round picks. Is he coming out and having a flawless game with no mistakes, at least to what we can see?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I want to see from Sonny. If he's out here on the field tonight, we don't know exactly who's going to play yet. Obviously filming this ahead of the game, but the expectation is that we may see Sonny Styles out there for a little bit.
I know you guys, and Jake, you said it, I'm still not I don't know how much I'm there to say that the Commanders are that much better than the Dolphins. We hope the Commanders are that much better than the Dolphins. At least on paper they are, right? But when we talk about competition and what we're looking at,
they're way better.
When they're
They're
healthy.
way better.
Argument to be had. But when we look at competition on the football field, the Commanders have gone through so many kickers over the last couple of years. Are you guys going to be paying attention to the kicking competition at all?
Yeah, Derek, Riley Patterson and Zane Gonzalez are both on the Dolphins. So, yes, they have gone through a lot of kickers, and half of them are here tonight.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that kicking competition does go tonight, Derek. I mean, it's something that needs to be shored up with this team going into the regular season. And right now, I mean, a lot of the DC media, I think it's like Grant Paulson. I know you say you speak to him. Every single practice at training camp, we're getting an update on what the makes and misses are and the total attempts for both of the kickers. So it'll be interesting to see if both of them play tonight, which I'm assuming they will as long as they're healthy, how well that goes in game situations and not just practice.
I got one more for you, and this one's kind of an inside joke, but you guys are going to be up in the press box. Who are you guys most interested in hearing from in the media? I know Chris Russell's a favorite if he's up there, but who do you miss the most in the press box?
I'm excited to sit next to Jake, actually.
Here we go.
It's been a little bit since Jake and I have been hanging out at a game, so that should be fun. But yes, Chris Russell, I know he fell in a divot the other day.
That wasn't fun.
I'm going to be keeping an eye on him in the press box. We love Chris. And here comes Chop walking by right now behind us, getting ready for his homecoming, as you can see, right here as he goes by from the Miami Dolphins. Quince Orchard grad, of course. But yes, we're excited to be up there with the rest of the media. I'm also excited to see what's the food. They got these great pretzels shaped like W's, and I love them. Jake was like, "You think they're gonna have it tonight?" I said, "You might." I said they might, so I'm hoping for the pretzel, and I'll let you know how it is, Derek. Maybe they'll give me a to-go box. I can bring one back for you. I don't know if you want it, but
I'm going to go not a person. I'm going to go, what's the seating chart look like this year? Because I feel like we've kind of shifted a little bit where we sit. Interested to see where the seating chart. Maybe we're sitting next to Chris Russell, and then I'll be happy to see Chris Russell if I'm sitting next to him.
Maybe they'll have the W shaped pretzels, and you can dip them in Campbell's soup. They got to have Campbell's soup up there, right?
I don't know. It's too hot for soup. Too hot for soup right now. In November and December, we'll get the soup out.
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. As always, good stuff out there. Have fun at the game. Should be an exciting season for the Washington Commanders for sure, for sure. And the inside joke there with the Campbell's Soup, Mark Klaus, who's the president of the Commanders, owns Campbell's Soup as well. All right, so we want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens because they're getting set for their first preseason game, which is this weekend. They're going to be hosting the Philadelphia Eagles over at M&T Bank. That one's going to be set for a 7 o'clock tip-off on Saturday over at M&T Bank, and they've got a lot of different pieces, especially when it comes to their coaching staff. A new head coach in Jesse Minter, a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, Declan Doyle. So there's some expectations for those guys in terms of what they're going to be able to do. And Jesse Minter spoke to the media about what he's looking forward to the most coaching in his first game.
I think the biggest feeling is just excited. Just to see our team play and see if a lot of the identity and some of the things that we've been talking about shows up on tape. That's what we're searching for the most. Excited about the game management, and just going through the game with the different roles, different hats that I'm trying to wear. So again, it's a great opportunity to actually do it in a game. And so I'm definitely just excited about the whole thing.
All right, so that's head coach Jesse Minter, obviously trying to get the Ravens back into the postseason. Last year under John Harbaugh, they missed the postseason. Lamar Jackson, you see right there, certainly ready to get back into his MVP form and get the Ravens into the postseason and hopefully get over the hump, because each year they're one of the top teams. They're expected to be one of the top teams coming out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl, and that is the case again, of course, behind the Buffalo Bills. But again, that game Saturday night over at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. There's hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, coming up on the show, we're going to catch up with Denton Day. We're going to get his thoughts on the whole Jaden Daniels situation over at LSU and the NIL suit that he's currently up against right now. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night Derek Forrest. Earlier today, I caught up with Denton Day from Odyssey Radio, and we talked about Jaden Daniels. There's been some news breaking this week about Jaden Daniels sending a cease and desist letter to LSU to have them stop wearing the number 5 for one of their top guys, one of their cornerbacks who's now currently wearing it. We don't really know the entire situation, or at least in my opinion, I don't know if we know the entire situation with Jaden Daniels and LSU. So for me, it's really hard to judge that. But earlier today, I got Denton Day's thoughts on everything going on.
Well, I wish we did know anything, if I'm being honest. I think there's a lot of different elements of this story that are really, really sideways, and there's a lot of different things that are really true. I think this is, in a sense, a PR mishap by the Jaden Daniels team in jumping the gun a little bit and giving a statement that has now kind of ballooned itself into a way where Jaden is getting skewered. I don't think he deserves to be skewered for this at all, but the statement made it feel like he was being a little bit bratty is such a bad word, I feel like, but it made it feel like he was being a little petty. I don't think that he was. I think there were conversations that we are not aware of that have taken place over the course of days, months leading up to this, cease and desist letter that LSU made a promise on their end that they were not going to give the number away, and then they still proceeded to give the number away. And then Jaden's like, well, why did you do that? His team is like, why did you do that? I think I definitely need to emphasize it is the team of Jaden Daniels. I don't imagine that he's sitting here on like a Thursday off day crafting a cease and desist letter at LSU. That doesn't seem to be the way that he personally operates, and he's also seemingly been pretty locked in training camp and just with off-season stuff over the last few weeks and months. But I think there were conversations that took place that we as the public are not privy to that led to this. It wasn't just an out of the blue, hey, we don't really like you anymore, give us our money. I don't buy that.
Yeah. What do you think of the whole Heisman Trophy thing? And that's probably part of it, but do you have a take on that as well?
As a bit of a college football purist, I think the conversation that has been had over the last 36, 48 hours in relation to this has done a pretty significant amount of harm to the idea that the Heisman Trophy Award is the most prestigious award in American sports. Because immediately when people found out that Jaden was not happy that his number was being given away, which, by the way, he's not asking for it to be retired. He was asking to be able to give his blessing to the next person, not be told that his number is being given away. But that's also been lost in translation with this. But there's been irreparable damage, I feel like, done to the Heisman Trophy's prestige because everyone is now jumping in and saying, well, all he did was win the Heisman. As if that's just like not a nonchalant thing that happens in college football. If you position the Heisman Trophy as the most prestigious award in American sports, it needs to be honored as such. It is a massive, massive honor to be able to have a Heisman Trophy winner as a part of your program. LSU historically is one of the more dominant programs in the sport, and they've only had 3. It's a massive deal. And the fact that they were so quick to turn and be like, well, we put this in writing that this other kid has to have your number because he's worn it since he was 4. Yeah, he wore 3 one year, but now we need to keep him in the portal, so we're putting it in writing. That has been really, really odd to me. The Heisman Trophy winner should be honored very, very a lot better than what LSU is currently doing to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and on the other side, as far as Pickett's concerned, I mean, I was a baseball player my whole life, and I wore 20 pretty much the majority of my time. But I don't think I'm making a decision on what college I'm going to based on the number that I'm wearing. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Which, from what I've heard, I mean, that's quite literally what happened with and like, look, if the number's important to you, the number's important to you. I mean, Jaden Daniels, like, I can't sit here and totally knock on the kid because when Jaden Daniels got drafted, everyone and their mother knew, hey, Tress, you got to get 5 up, bro. You're going to look really good at another number. So numbers are important. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think this is more of a program not handling this in the best way possible and being so desperate to keep somebody that they just decide to toss a portion of one of their biggest legacies out with the bathwater.
All right, I think this is one of those situations where people might be too quick to judge right now what's going on with the LSU situation and Jaden Daniels. Only time will tell for sure is what I will say. All right, coming up on the show, we're going to catch up with Malik Washington, the quarterback, the University of Maryland. as they're getting set for their 2026 season. Alex Flum caught up with him at Media Day. We'll have that conversation coming up next on Game Night.
All right, Malik, coming in here. All right, Malik, coming in here sophomore year, you have a unique experience where you got to come in.
Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest, the University of Maryland, they're getting set for their 2026 season and hoping to rebound from a 4-8 season a year ago. 2 years ago, they were also 4-8, but don't forget, the 3 years prior to that, they had gone to back-to-back bowl games. So hopefully, Coach Mike Loxley and company can get back to that. And of course, on the offensive side of the ball, it starts with their sophomore quarterback, Malik Washington. Last year as a freshman, pretty outstanding, 17 touchdowns through the air and almost 3,000 yards through the air as well. And he caught up with our Alex Flum during Media Day as Washington talks about the upcoming season.
All right, Malik, coming in here sophomore year, you have a unique experience where you got to come in as a freshman, be the guy. How much do you think that helps you going into the season?
It's huge, really. It gives you experience that you just not going to have if you don't go out there and play. You get to go through all the bumps, learn all the tough lessons, have the good moments and the bad moments so you understand what both sides are like. So when you go out there next year, you kind of have a feel for it.
You talk about those bumps and the tough moments. I noticed last year that no matter how tough things got, you came in there with that positive mentality in those post-game press conferences, which impressed me. How were you able to do that, and how do you kind of carry that in, try to learn those lessons and build on it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's really just life. You know, you're going to go down at some point in your life. Nobody lives a perfect life. It won't always go well. And then, two, for me, it's my faith, really, that keeps me going, keeps me, each day coming there with a positive mindset because I understand there's a plan for my life. No matter, what happens on that field, I know I have a plan for it, so I'll be okay.
Locks talks about how he's known you since you were in 8th grade. What impression did he in this program make on you back then? And how cool is it to be standing here now as the starting quarterback here?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great relationship over these past couple of years. Back then, it's the same impressions that they make now. It's a family environment. Everyone around here feels really close, really connected. You always feel at home and welcome, and that's what kept me around.
Locks told me he's a DJ, which this is something new I've learned this week. What about you? Do you have any secret hidden talents that we don't? Because everybody knows the quarterback, Malik Washington. What can you tell us about off the field?
I wouldn't say like hidden talents or anything like that. I got the guitar just a little bit. I only know a couple songs. All I know is best part is Session 32. That's all I got.
Caesar, right?
Daniel Caesar. Yeah, that's all I got. Other than that, not too much. I like to sit there, play pool. I play the game with my friends. It's regular old stuff for a kid.
Are you a good singer?
I'm all right. I wouldn't say I'm good. I say I'm decent. In the shower, I sound pretty good, but that's about all I got.
All right. And then in terms of on the football field, I know back-to-back 4-8 seasons for this program is tough. So how hungry are you to lift the Terps out of those struggles?
Huge. It's part of the reason I came here, to help continue to build this program up, just like the guys that came before us, and they brought it to that level, and we have to continue to take it and elevate it.
You see what Indiana did, going from a bottom-dwelling team in the Big Ten to a national champion, what Fernando Mendoza did. How do you make that happen here?
You find people within your program that are ready to go. Really, I think that's the biggest piece is understanding the guys that you have around you. Not every team is the same. There's no cut and paste for any team to go have that level of success. So you have to take what your team does well. You don't judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, right? Like you take it, you take what it is and you go from there.
And then finally, you chose Maryland. Zion Ely chose Maryland. How glad are you to have him here?
Super. He's another great kid, a local kid. Grew up around here, came to games, stuff like that. It just shows that the DMV talent can stay home and be really successful.
All right, that was Malik Washington. The season's going to start on Saturday, September 5th for the Maryland Terrapins as they are going to host Hampton, and they should start 1-0. They won 4 straight to start the year last year, and they ended up ending the season on an 8-game losing streak. Hopefully they can get back to some more of those winning ways and at least become bowl eligible this season. All right, coming up on the show, we teased it earlier this week, but we're going to show the full video of the Lethal Shooter schedule release that he did with the Washington Wizards. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. A couple weeks ago, I got a chance to catch up with lethal shooter Chris Matthews at his lethal shooter showcase over at Alexandria High School. And leading up to that day, he was telling me that he spent a day with the Washington Wizards for about 6 hours on a shoot. He couldn't tell me what the shoot was about then, but yesterday we learned what it was. The NBA came out with their schedule release, and like NFL teams have done, NBA teams are now putting together creative videos, and the Wizards used lethal shooter. Check it out.
Come on, Lethal, you know we don't miss, man. We from uptown, man.
Kick it, G. All right, DC. I understand it now. I told y'all I'd read the comments. DC born and raised. Me and the Wizards have linked up to drop the schedule. Hey, Mom. The Wizards understand it. You ready to cook?
Let's cook.
Jazz? It's go-go here. The league's not ready. The train's leaving the station. This season's gonna be a movie, and all of you are gonna be invited. All right, DC, I understand it now.
Sit back, relax, and check out the art.
Let's go, G-Wiz! That's what I'm talking about, baby! That's for Southeast! That's for Southwest! That's for Northeast! And you already know, Big G. Uptown, baby. Northwest for life, baby. Northwest.
You can't hold us back. You can't hold us back.
Y'all understand it now?
You can't hold us
Y'all understand it now? Y'all understand it now?
You can't hold us back.
I bet that shot he hit, I bet he did it in one take. It's funny, at the camp, he took one half-court shot, and it went in. He's amazing. All right, well, that's going to do it for another edition of Game Night. For Jake Fromm and Alex Flum, I'm Derek Forrest. Have a good night.